Welcome to NAB Show 2023. I'm Lisa Collins, and I'm delighted to be joined by Bryan Bossard, who's VP of Strategic Accounts at ThinkAnalytics. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Bryan, can we start just by you talking us through who ThinkAnalytics are and what you do?
I'd love to tell you a little bit about ThinkAnalytics. So our customers know us as the world's most deployed recommendation engine and discovery platform, away from the FANG properties, of course. We've been in this space quite a while, cutting our teeth on the traditional set-top box side, cable operators, satellite, things of that nature. And of course, we've evolved into the streaming side of the game, as has most of the folks in our space. And our founders were actually pioneers, if you will. They've been doing this for so long that essentially they maintained a competitive edge throughout a period of rapid growth. So as tends to happen, we were very sharp, early to market, continually innovate, continually invest. You get to not only lead the industry or stay ahead of some of the issues, but sometimes actually define the road. So it's been quite an exciting journey for them. And what we see today is as AI, ML, automation techniques go from these fuzzy ideas on a roadmap to things that are fledgling experiments to now saying, no, this is truly operationalized. It is a requirement to compete in the space. We've seen our business absolutely boom. So it's an exciting time for us. Just within the last 3 years, and I'm going to miss some customers when I'm going to do my best. We've brought on Bell, TELUS, BritBox, Crunchyroll, DirecTV LATAM, NFL, HBO Max. So it's just been tremendously exciting to be here. And frankly, go by our booth and you'll see a good presence of that because you'll have our founders who are those pioneers that bring all that domain expertise to the table. And then you'll see many more new faces. Me being on the more experienced side of that, I mean, I've been here 3 whole years. And of those people, a lot of them we've cherry-picked from these fantastic backgrounds in the analytics shops around the valley, and they've come here to take their careers to the next level. So yeah, it's a really unique moment in time where you get to both say that we're a pioneer in the space, but also through this phase of rapid growth and innovation. So it's quite exciting for us.
So what would you say is your biggest differentiator?
Our biggest differentiator, there's quite a few things that do separate us, but if I had to say there's one thing that makes us totally unique, it's that we sit at the intersection of collecting a lot of data. So we know what people are clicking on, what they watch, download, bookmark, etc., across our global level of deployment. So we have 90 different rec engines out in the market over time. But we combine that with this enriched metadata that describes the content they're watching. So is the mood of the content bleak, or is it lighthearted? Is the subject matter about the civil rights movement, or does it take place on an alien planet in the dystopian future? So all these things where we understand the content mapped against the viewer behavior is what makes us unique, because there's plenty of folks that collect a lot of data. That's not unique. There's some folks that do metadata, but putting the two together and seeing one through the lens of the other is what makes us quite unique. So essentially, we know what works and what doesn't when it comes to what people want to watch, and that means we can take all that intelligence that we've gathered and know exactly what recommendation technique to serve to what person on what device at what time to get them to do something very basic. We're really only solving one question of all this complex stuff we're talking about, and that is, what should I watch tonight? Choice anxiety, how do we kill it? And the idea is that there is all that complexity for how you can address a problem, because there is no one type of user. You might interact with recommended for you, and other people say, no, I just want to continue watching what I'm already interested in. And so part of our domain expertise allows us to take that very complex problem and break it down into a very pragmatic phase approach. And frankly, this is where a lot of even the most smart services out there stumble, because they're going to have people internally and externally saying, this is the thing we need to focus on now. It's our search, or we need better carousels, or no, it's about the humans curating them, and how can we help them do that at scale, or maybe it's a chatbot or an email campaign. And the answer is, it's all the above, but there's a very particular way that you can approach that. So the irony here, the inception, is that the services trying to solve choice anxiety are actually suffering it themselves. So by working with ThinkAnalytics, we'll get you to market within 120 days. In that period, you're already going to be solving problems on your roadmap and optimizing what you have in the market. We know what KPIs to look at, what levers to throw, what works, what doesn't. And so we're going to bring all that to the table. And of course, although we have this, I'll call it secret sauce and recipe for success, because we've worked with so many different services, we're completely flexible, and we love to tailor fit our solutions for those various customers' needs.
Excellent, excellent. And tell us, and we're here at NAB Show.
Yes.
What are you showing here? Have you got new launches?
Wow. We do. We have new launches, and we also have new products and new partnerships that we're very excited about. So we're quite fortunate to be working with one of the biggest, most premier brands in the business, of course, AWS. where we have a joint demonstration of our technology working hand in glove. Because as we were discussing earlier, there are a lot of different techniques out there for how to hit an audience, and they certainly have some great ones as well. So we like to remain agnostic. We are that platform. And so with Amazon, we're able to demonstrate that we can take their great algorithms as well, put them right through our platform, and do what we do best, use the A/B testing, looking at the KPIs, the simple interface to manipulate these things rather than leave it in the hands of technologists, and really show off how cool stuff can be. And then the second partnership we're very excited about is Amagi. Amagi is absolutely like dominating the fast space right now. They're one of the hottest companies in the Valley. And so we have a joint presentation with them as well, where we take those fast channels that they're creating and say, well, we can personalize that as well. We can sit on top of it, if you will, and say, what is the right order of these channels up and down? When people think of recommendations, they think order of items in a carousel, left to right, but it's also up and down. So with them, we get to demonstrate that. So that's quite exciting as well. And if I could pick on a third thing, it's the chatbot. ChatGPT, of course, is all the rage right now. So as you can imagine, our customers are coming to us saying, surely you can solve this as well. And the answer is absolutely we can. So right now in our booth, we have this cool little chatbot. You can ask it what to watch tonight. It'll tell you all about what it suspects you should watch. And the neat thing about the chatbot is it takes these recommendations, which can be fairly sterile, right? You're just looking at content on a carousel and you say, I know there's a reason they're putting that in front of me. I don't know what it is. Whereas a chatbot will say something like, I think you should watch Attack on Titan tonight because it's got cool fight scenes and it's sci-fi and it takes place on an alien planet, dystopian future. That's where I had that earlier. And so that can be quite exciting too, to sort of contextualize the recommendation and make it more of like you're talking to a friend.
Yeah,
So,
I love that.
that's
Sounds
the cool
great.
stuff.
Sounds great. And with that and the partnerships you've got, and partnerships are key in this industry right now.
Absolutely.
How's that all being received on the show floor?
I think it's doing quite well. We're seeing a lot of traffic that we're sending over that direction. Of course, they have no shortage of traffic at Amazon, and they're certainly sending some great folks our way as well. So I think people more than ever, to your point earlier, are very excited about partnerships and how can we really get an end-to-end solution by cherry picking the best and brightest of each unique discipline. No one wants to work with generalists anymore. They want people who are true experts. They've been there, they've done that, they created the wheel, someone else created the engine, someone else created the car. Let's build a race car.
Excellent, excellent. Can I ask you about the future? So,
Yes.
post NAB show, what can we expect from you guys?
All about the future. There's two items I'm really excited about next year. And one of them has existed for a while, only very rudimentary, and that's predictive analytics. So there's always been it's always been a requirement to have some sort of prediction of what content will hit next. And the idea is that as AI and ML advances and advances and advances, we can use that plus the rich data set that we described to put it together and really understand with this particular film or TV series, how might it perform on your direct-to-consumer app, or is this more appropriate to put in the movie theaters, or heck, even earlier in the chain, how much of a budget should we put against this? And so we believe that with the sort of data that's being collected right now, you can actually infer the future of content. And I'm not saying that perfect solution's coming next year, but I think you're going to see a great leap forward in that space, and I think we'll be part of it. The other piece that I'm really excited about is what I'll call the end-to-end viewer experience. More than ever, as we see consolidation in the marketplace, as brands bring different types of content under the same roof, it's important to personalize across all of them. And the future is now, it's just not evenly distributed. It's a line I stole, but I like to use it. Meaning that we have some customers where if you read an article here, you watch a video there, we can tie all that together to understand what might you like to be recommended next. And I think next year we're going to see more and more of that with video games and music. It's all content. It all can be described in a similar way. It can truly create that, I'll call it end-to-end personalized experience.
Sounds great. Really interesting. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope the rest of the show is great for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.